Hello, and welcome to the 103, 103rd,
Yep, 103rd.
103 episode of the Friday Nightmares podcast. I am one host of your premium professional podcasting team that acts as a role model to the smaller, lesser known podcasts out there, like Dummies of Horror, for example, and Slasher Radio, the ones that are just trying to come up and make it in this world. We're gonna show them what real hard work over 4 years looks like today. My name's Heather Powell. I live in Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. And with me, as always, is the main attraction,
Mr. Smokeshow Crawford, coming to you from the town of Swartz Creek in the county of Genesee, in the state of Michigan, in the United States of America, in the North American continent, in the Western Hemisphere, on the planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy. I'm fully vaxxed, boosted, and waxed, and ready to climax. And if you can, please get me wet and feed me after midnight. I'm the man with the glorious beard, a.k.a. the mother of cats, a.k.a. the man with the humongous ego, a.k.a. Scott Housen, a.k.a. Scotty Too Hottie, a.k.a. Spanky, a.k.a. Hey Scott, a.k.a. one half of the premium podcasting duo that creates the tomahawk steaks of podcasting. Not that overdone raw beef Wellington of podcasts that we know as the Dummies of Horror. We are the one that you spend $100 a plate on, baby. That's the type of podcast we are.
it's like when you go out for a special meal, right? You go out for a special meal once in a while, which is why we only record once a month. We're not your daily bitches. We're the elite side chick that you take to the nice restaurant. Not like McDonald's like you would do with some other podcast. Released an episode every 2 weeks. Look at me. Oh, look at us. On a quick note, we are not talking about 2025 today. We are talking about Scott and I's journey over the past 4 years of being podcasters and all the movies we have watched, and we'll be giving our top 30 from, a combined top 30 from the year of 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. And let me tell you, when I was making this list, you can see when things started to open for COVID because the watch list got less and less.
Uh-huh.
And I even was like, oh, that's the last movie I watched that I saw Scott, and then we didn't see each other again for 2 years.
Yeah, like for me, I was kind of going through it and I'm going, oh, Invisible Man. That was the last movie I got to see in theaters before everything shut down.
Right? It's amazing how you remember stuff. But in terms of horror movies for 2025, I'm not going to give anything away, but I have only watched 15. And it is February 23rd because it has been hard, but I just want to let everyone know that Piglet is my number one movie so far of the year, and it's just everything you could want in a film. So if you haven't had a chance to watch Piglet yet, please get out and do that.
And I'm the one that turned it off about halfway through.
Which Scott isn't into the full Pooh universe. And yes, this movie makes absolutely no sense, but I was fucking here for it. Who cares if it makes sense? But we're not here to talk about Piglet and the 2025 lacklusterness that has begun of the year. We're here to talk about the journey that Scott and I have had in these top 30 films that premium podcasters watch, and only the best. And we again have no idea what will be on each other's lists. Well, we probably have a slight idea what will be on each other's lists, but
Yeah.
I'm excited to see because we got to go back in time here, as I was saying to Scott before we started to record. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing this. And yeah, I'm at about 7 or 8 2025s. I figure I wanted to slow down because I wanted to focus on this list. I knew I would, because if I started watching a bunch of them right off the bat, by the time we recorded our actual regular episode, I would forget them and be like, I saw this movie. I rated it this. I don't know anything about it. Can't remember it. So I figure I'll start.
Which means it's probably not that good.
More than likely. But figure I'll give it the good old college try once we're done with this recording to get prepped for going back to our normal style episodes.
Yes.
We're going to try to do this in one whole episode. Guess just depends on time. Because it is 30 movies that we're each doing, so a total of 60. I'm sure we'll be fairly quick, but you never know. So this may be stretched into 2 or just this one. So we will see.
Scott and I do like to get in and out quickly, though, so there's a good chance.
Right.
we don't want commitment. We just want to be here and gone. We're not in it for the long grind.
And my pullout game is strong.
Same. Right there with you, buddy. Right there with you. So we'll jump right into it. We'll skip all the bullshit. Scott and Erica are doing great. Their wedding's coming up. Blah, blah, blah. They're super happy. They went on a date day. Wonderful. I went to Mexico. I went to Cancun, went swimming, drank a lot. Blah, blah, blah. It was great. Saw a bunch of Americans. They were very nice. We all got along. Everything was happy. And now, on to the movie.
Yep. And I'll preface this by saying we are not going to do honorable mentions just because we figure we'll just jump in because top 30, it's already a lot of movies. So
it is. And fuck, if they didn't make it to the list, then they don't make it to the podcast of premium podcasters.
That's right.
Right. Fuck them. Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
Sure. Yeah, you go ahead and start. I'll say I'm
right.
going to count up how many of each year I have real quick while you're doing while you start.
I was shocked that this made it to my top 10 this year. I was shocked that it made it to my top 3 this year. Never in a million years would I think Mr. Eggers would ever be on my list for anything. I'm lukewarm on The Witch. I didn't like The Lighthouse. But fucking Nosferatu is number 30, baby. This is such a divisive film. I totally get the people that think it's artistic and shoves it right straight up their ass that it's boring and the whole 3 days. It's funny. Yeah, that's a shout out to Daniel from the Dummies of Horror podcast. But I thought it was an excellent film. I thought it was so fucking well made, so fucking well directed, and the acting for me worked. It was over the top, and I enjoyed it. And it made it to spot 30. So congratulations, Nosferatu. And I'm curious to see what Mr. Eggers will do next, and if we ever do a list again, if this will stay on there, so it will be replaced by something else.
That's wow. Yeah, that is awesome. Because I know you're not a big fan. So hearing that,
I am not.
And it's funny because I was just on the phone with my mother before we recorded, and my mom was like, "Yeah, so Wayne and I were watching Paramount Plus last night, and I meant to message you. We watched a movie called Nosferatu," and I'm going, "No shit." And she was talking about how much she liked it and everything. I'm going, "That's awesome."
That's really cool.
But yeah, that is top 30. Hell yeah, good job. I'm proud of you, Heather.
Right?
Come a long way.
Make a premium podcaster of me yet.
Exactly. So yeah, my number 30 was a film from 2023, and it was a holiday slasher film, and that movie is Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
It's just fun all the way through. Great kills, annoying characters that you want to see die. Goes at a good pace. Had a nice little twist to it. The carnage in the beginning with the Black Friday madness was perfect. This was just so much fun, and now is on the always watching it for Thanksgiving holiday season.
Agreed. I've rewatched it a couple of times, and it is solid. And was filmed up the street from my house. And every time I go to the gym, I look over at the school, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's where Thanksgiving was filmed."
Yeah, that was really cool because I remember you talking about when that was being recorded there or being filmed there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They filmed it over March break here, and and I like Eli Roth a lot. I think he's a really cool director. I don't think he's the best director in the world, but I think what he does well, and he does gore very well. And that movie did gore very well. So my 29 is also one from 2023, and never in a million years did I think that a movie about a fucking giant ass lizard would make it to my top 30, but here we are today, and that baby is Godzilla -1.
Fuck yeah.
These two, the 29 and the 30, were shockers. Both movies were movies that I was like, I'll go watch them because I'd heard such good things, and I was not disappointed. I think Godzilla -1 hit me in all the feels. I thought that it was scary. It made Godzilla scary, and I really appreciated that, and that's why it's sitting at number 29 for me.
Hell yeah, because I'm glad you put it on the list because it did just miss my list because I did have a few issues with it, but it's
Yeah.
still a fucking good movie.
Awesome.
And yeah,
Awesome.
Godzilla was terrifying in that.
He was. He was scary. He was like me in the morning after drinking. That's exactly what it looks like.
Run!
Yeah, everyone in the neighborhood's running away from me. It's true. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, then my number 29 is a film from 2022, a theatrical release that was in my top 10, and
Hmm.
yeah, it is Smile 2022. Like
Fuck yeah.
I just have a lot of fun with this one. I find it very creepy, and it deals with like trauma in its own way, and I found the curse to be very like disturbing. I
Mm-hmm.
was hoping for so much more with part two, but part two kind of let me down. Like I think they
Yeah.
just kind of expanded on it a little too much, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Smile. Just I've watched that one at least 3 or 4 times now, and such a good film.
Yeah, that was in my honorable mentions. I had it in like the narrowed down and probably like we'll say the 50 that I started with and then breaking it down from there. Great fucking movie. Great fucking movie. Horror done right. And
Mm,
horror done differently, but yet still familiar. And I
yes,
think that
exactly.
that's what that film did well. And I agree the second one, as interesting as it was, to me the first one was better. But
Yeah.
it is what it is, right? Well, my 28, this was a Shudder film, and it didn't get talked a lot about at the time. I think you and I both really enjoyed it, and we both got tickles from it, but not a lot of people really latched onto it. And sadly, I don't think there'll ever be a sequel because of it. But my number 28 is Kids versus Aliens
Oh,
from
nice.
2023. I thought that movie was so sweet and endearing, and the brother and sister and the wrestling thing that they were getting involved in, and just how these kids stuck out the alien attack. I've seen it once and it stuck with me 2 years later. And that's when I was doing this list, I thought about movies that have stuck with me that I remember
Yes.
without having to look up what it was generally about is probably a good sign.
Yeah.
So if you like a little bit of silly combined with some pretty decent special effects, and you missed this one, I would say go back and check it out on the Shuddy. It is Kids versus Aliens. More than likely you won't hate it. You may not love it, but I don't think you're going to hate it.
No, I say it was definitely like a really fun one. Like
Right?
I am starting to like forget a lot about it because it's one of those that just for me
Didn't
didn't
stick
stick
with
with
you.
me
Yeah.
as much, but it's still I remember it being a lot of fun. Great choice.
Thanks.
Then for me, my number 28, one from just last year that was also in my top 10, and it is a sequel, and that is Alien Romulus.
Fuck yeah. Great film.
I had just so much fun with it. It had some issues, like that's why it's kind of lower. But it was solid Alien sequel. Not much to say because
Hmm.
we've talked about it recently, but yeah, very fun film.
Great film. Well, good special effects. Like, worth the high budget. We gave that award to it, I believe, in our
Yes.
in our end of year, and it deserves it. So if people skipped over that last year, I would definitely recommend checking it out. And alien films are fucking horror films.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear again, in case anyone missed that the first fucking time we talked about it.
Yeah.
My number 27, this was actually a low budget film. And this got me into low budget films. This came out in 2020. And I think it was around the time that Mr. Mark Nato generously shared his screeners with us. And that movie is called The Special.
Oh
And it
yeah.
is a throwback in time about basically what is presented as a sex parlor. And there is this box that gives you this beyond rewarding sexual experience. And a
That it
gentleman
does.
gets addicted to it. And the box is not what it seems. And I think this movie is such a great metaphor on addictions. I think it was great for special effects for it being a low budget film. I thought the acting was quality as well. And it was something that not a lot of people talked about. And this may not be for everybody. Matt Wood, if you I know that sounds like I'm like Sex in a Box, Matt Wood, but I think
I
you
mean, it
would
is sexy Matt Wood.
it is sexy Matt Wood, but I think Matt, you would find it interesting at least. Like I don't think it's like something that's going to blow your mind. But if you're listening to this and you missed this from 2020 and you can find it somewhere, it's called The Special, and it's based upon this crazy sexual experience that one gets from this box and the addiction that this guy gets to it. It that started my love of low budget. Truly, up to that point, I'd seen low budget from the 80s and stuff like that, but nothing really modern. When Scott and I first got into podcasting, it kind of pushed me to be a little less picky. And at the time, of course, it was like COVID, so we had nothing else to do but fucking watch movies. So,
Right.
yeah, number 27, The Special from 2020.
That is awesome because yeah, that was a very good body horror done right for low
Mhm.
budget.
For low budget, and it
And
stuck with me years later. It stuck with me, and I'm like, that's a sign, right?
yeah, I'll say because yeah, it's funny because you're giving a lot of love to the indie films for the most part, and I'm going more the big budget at the moment, but they're
Hey,
also higher on my list. Like because yeah, my number 27 is one I just kind of brought up earlier before we started this list, and that was 2020's Invisible Man.
fuck yeah, great film.
Because yeah, that one, just the way it dealt with like the relationship abuse situation
Hmm.
and trying to like get out of that horrid situation, the way it was covered was smart, it was well done, and still to this day that floating knife in the restaurant's kill just fucking horrifying.
Great Creole scene, and Elizabeth Moss performance in that was just so fucking solid.
Yeah.
Like a true portrayal of an abuse victim, not this like independent woman, I can move on. Like the true trauma was reflected so well by her. I
Yeah, the
agree, Scotty. Great film.
constant looking over her shoulders and
Mm-hmm.
everything else and just
Mm-hmm.
terrified of what this
Mm-hmm.
guy's gonna do. It's just like, yeah, that one, it didn't make my top 10 at the time, but after it's sitting with me over the years and
Mm-hmm.
I've watched it, like, yeah, it should have been in my top 10 because that's a fucking amazing movie.
Totally. And then you kind of come back to it later. I remember scenes. Again, something says to me that we watched this in 2020 and we can remember clearly 5 years later, 5 years around this time, what happened in that film, right? And
Yeah.
I think that speaks to a quality film. My 2026 was a film that I wasn't a big fan of the sequel, but I really liked the OG. I thought it was really unique. It was filmed 10 minutes from my house, which I always love. And I love me a little evil child, and that is Becky 2020.
Oh, no
Um,
shit.
yeah, yeah. I thought she was fucking clever. I thought her revenge on the Nazi gang that attacked her was very something that we should see more of in 2025 of attacking
Mhm.
Nazis. So it was very, very well done, and I thought she was a great anti-hero.
Yes.
She was a brat, but you also got behind her, and I think she just presented that so well. I think most people have seen Becky 2020, but if for some reason you've missed it, I do recommend checking it out.
Yeah, because I watched that shortly after Erica and the boys moved in. We watched it, and it was like the first time I'd watched it since I think we did that episode with Dummies of Horror way back in the day to review it.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, still holds up, still a lot of fun. What's his plays such a good
Is it
villain, I
Kevin
think.
Smith?
Yeah, Kevin James.
Yeah, or Kevin James. Sorry, Kevin James.
Yeah, I still to this day think he did a great job and was intimidating. And yeah, like so much fun.
100%, baby. 100%.
On my number 26, still going with theatrical at the moment, is 2021's I guess you'd say reboot, sequel, kind of in between there, Candyman.
Oh, fuck yeah.
The way this story was told and the fact that, it just kind of gave you that grounds of the Candyman mythos of there's always been different versions of Candyman
Mm-hmm.
throughout the ages, and
Mm-hmm.
each one represents a different time in that generation of repression and all that stuff. And just the score and the effects and just the nice little nod to see Tony Todd come back to reprise his role at the very end. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Tony Todd.
Rest in peace, Tony Todd.
But that, yeah, movie was just phenomenal. This is one that I own on 4K, and well, I have not watched it since I bought it, but I plan on rewatching it sometime soon because I think the first Candyman is just a bona fide masterpiece, and
Mm-hmm.
this I feel is the true sequel it deserved.
I could not agree more with you. It's a fucking solid film. It follows the urban myth so well. It adds something new without taking away from the original. It modernized the story. It's whatever you want to see in a reimagining sequel, whatever you want to call it. It's what you want to see done. And they nailed it. They nailed it completely. My 25, we will have a couple of repeats, but I'm glad this is the first one. was The Invisible Man 2020.
Nice.
Yes. So like you, we were very close. It was 26 for you, I think. No,
Mine was
27.
27.
Yeah. So we were pretty close. I guess I liked it a little bit more than you did, but similar things. Everything you said and more. It was a great film. So what is your 25?
All right, my number 25 is one that's finally off. I'm off the theatrical for a minute, and it's a streaming one, and it was streaming on Hulu in the year of 2022. And that is also another reboot, reimagining sequel of Hellraiser.
Oh, fuck yeah. That was a good one too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
having,
great.
because we all know the whole thing about the Hellraiser franchise. The sequels just go from
They get weird. They get
bad to
weird.
worst to
The
worst.
DJ
And
one is always hilarious, isn't it? Like the
yes,
fucking club one. That one's always funny. The
yeah,
DJ or the
yeah,
CD like
yeah,
Cenobite.
CD man, yep, and the
Yeah.
camera, and the guy with the camera in his face.
Oh Jesus, yeah, those are funny.
But this one definitely made the Cenobites absolutely terrifying again, and the balls to cast a female transgender character as the Hell Priest or Hell Priestess, and she did an amazing
Nailed
job.
it.
Was
Nailed
fucking
it.
creepy. The looks, I love the look of the Cenobites in this, where their flesh was used as their outfits, and they're not wearing like the BDSM. And yeah, some of the characters were annoying. You weren't really rooting for too many of them, but like it's kind of the point in a lot of these Hellraiser movies is like, bad people come across these things in desperate times.
Yeah.
And bad shit happens. And
bad shit goes down. Totally.
And yeah, this is one that I've rewatched several times, and it is an amazing and worthy addition to that franchise.
100%. No, it's fucking solid. It was a great remake, and I remember people being so pissy about it. But unlike other remakes that we've seen over the years, that one was solid.
Yes.
Really well done, well thought put into it, and a good way to update the story, because the original Hellraiser, as classic as it is dated now. And it is nice to have more of a modern option.
And I hope to see a sequel of this at some point.
Well, we'll see, right? I don't think there's been enough buzz. But hey, you never know. You never know, right? Here's hoping. So my 24, maybe this is what started my love of Britain. I don't quite know if this is what motivated me to go there. And this was a reality. And my good friend Mark has talked about experiencing this back in the 80s when he lived in Britain and the censorship. And that movie is Censor 2021.
Ooh, nice.
It's really interesting talking to folks from Britain now in a little bit more detail that can remember when things were censored to that extent. Like it was a thing. And I thought that this was a portrayal of a woman who was haunted by demons that were so powerful, trying to figure out what had happened to her sister and how it absorbed her life. And how at the same time she was watching all these fucking horror films being like, well, this can't be shown, that can't be shown. And it really kind of intrigued me, one, to British horror, and two, I just felt like the film was artistic done right. And I loved it playing off of a historical thing that occurred in Britain and then adding this side story onto it. So if anyone missed it, it is Censor from 2021.
Yeah, that one is a fascinating story. I've only watched it twice now, I think, since we first talked about it. But yeah, very fascinating story, very intriguing all the way through. You're not sure what is happening, like what is happening in front of her eyes and what's not. And yeah, I highly recommend this one. That is a great pick.
Thank you.
Mine, I'm kind of going on the streaming bit a little bit here, but my first actually no, this is my second 2020 so far on this list. My number 24 is 2020's Scare Me, that was on Shudder. Now I gotta preface this because I know there's been like 3 or 4 Scare Me movies since we've created this podcast and started recording. This is the one with where it's only 2 main characters and then you get one guy that shows up like towards the end. But it's basically done like a stage play where they're telling each other scary stories and using the shadows to like represent the creatures and stuff like that. And the chemistry those two had on screen and just to be able to entertain without there actually being anything to see on the screen, but you're just listening to their stories. And I found this to be so unique and just so much fun to listen to, and like I said, the chemistry between them was amazing. We rewatched this last year just because Eric had never seen it, and the
Nice.
the boys even came out and were talking during it at first, and then they just kind of stopped and sat down and watched it with us. That's how much it just like it grabs your
And
attention.
that says something. When two teenage boys can come out and stop talking and pay attention to a movie, like that's a standing ovation
Right,
for that film,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, I absolutely adore this film, and yeah, it's also one of the few I have in my collection.
It was a sick film. I remember when that came out, how much you dug it, and I really enjoyed it as well. Something different, again, something different but familiar and well paced, and just fucking great storytelling.
Exactly.
And that was 2021, right?
2020.
2020, 2020. So the next one is my second favorite movie of 2021. It is not something that has been talked about a lot since then, and it is The Sound of Violence. So I'm going to read the synopsis. As a child, the brutal murder of her family made Alexis regain her hearing alongside with systematic abilities. Now, as an adult, she finds solace in the sounds of bodily harm.
That's right.
When she's
Okay.
told she might lose her hearing again, she escalates her gruesome sound experiments in quest to compose her masterpiece.
I
This was a
forgot about this
yeah,
one.
yeah, that's why I figured I better pull up the synopsis because it didn't get a lot of love back in the day. It is definitely a different type of film. Basically, the synopsis is a young lady who has struggles with her hearing finds that her hearing comes back when there is harm to somebody caused, and as she's losing her hearing, she engages in violent acts towards others to maintain that hearing. And it is a very interesting film. You have a lot of empathy for the main character, but yet she's doing these absolutely horrible things. The
Hmm.
gore was great. I remember a specific kill in a sound studio that was very, very well done.
Yep.
And and it didn't get a lot of buzz at the time, but it has continued to stick with me for the uniqueness of it. When I was looking at this list, I was thinking back to what stood out to me. And what stood out to me was either something that had really good gore, a really good plot, really good character development. I know it sounds like every fucking podcast, or something that was different, but yet was able to draw in your attention, just like the one that you talked about last. It was filmed differently, but it was able to draw in people's attention. And I thought The Sound of
Exactly.
Violence from 2021 was an excellent example of that. So if anyone hasn't checked it out and they think they'd be interested, you can find it even on Tubi now.
Oh, nice.
So it is available.
Yeah, because I forgot a lot about this movie, but the one thing that still sticks with me is the end sequence
Right?
on the beach.
Yep.
That still sticks with me. As soon as I recognize what movie you're talking about, I'm like, oh yeah, yep,
Takes you back, right?
it
Takes you
does.
back, right?
But yeah, that's a good one because yeah, I don't think I would have thought of that one to add to your list if I was trying to pick it
Yeah,
because I would have
because it
forgot
kind
about
of
it.
floated in the background, right? But it
Yeah,
was my second in my top 10. It was my second of 2021. So,
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'll go with my number. We're on 23, right?
23, sir.
All right. So this one we talked about a lot and gave a lot of love to it back in 2020. Rewatched it this is one of the few that I wanted to rewatch to see if it'd make my list nowadays. Like I
Yep.
rewatched it recently just to see. And that is Mom, Mother of Monsters.
Fuck yeah. I saw that and I was thinking about it because I'm like, that was a fucking great film.
Yeah,
Fucking great film.
Erica and I rewatched it, and I think what sold me to put it on the list was Erica's just gripping her chair, just so angry at the characters because they're not doing anything stupid. They're just
Yep.
so infuriating because of how they're treating each other, and just like yeah, just
Mhm.
seeing her raw emotion to it as well just made me go, yeah, this deserves to be on the list because yeah, the kind of abuse that goes on from both the mother and the son, the way they are just like different
It's
styles
fucked.
of abuse, but that
Yeah.
whole dynamic was just completely and utterly fucked. And yeah, it still is one of those haunting, like found footage documentary
Mhm.
style types. And if you're a found footage fan and you have not seen MOM, Mother of Monsters, I believe it's still on Tubi, and I highly recommend checking it out because
Yep.
it is very good. It's kind of hard to watch, but it's very good.
And that is where you may not have the budget, but who you cast makes the movie.
Yes.
And the casting of those two characters and how good they were at making you believe the situation that they were in is what sells that film.
Yeah.
And I think, again, that was the year of low budget. You and I watched a lot of films that probably we wouldn't. Well, I know I wouldn't have. I don't know if you would have watched something like that
Probably
prior
not
to
nearly as much.
podcasting. Because we watched everything. We had like in the 250s of watches that year. Like we were up there.
Yeah.
So, I think that that's a good one to bring back to the table to kind of not trigger in a bad sense, but to get people to think about stuff that maybe they skipped over that they may want to go watch that wasn't overly talked about at the time, unless you were a podcaster that all you were doing was watching movies like Fresh Cuts, the guys on Fresh Cuts and Horror for Dummies of Horror and other people who I know probably watch that. But for other people who probably weren't, this is a great kind of refresher.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And yeah, this one stood the test of the 5-year time or whatever, because like it was in my head, but I was like, all right, it's in my top 40 at the moment. I want to see if this will fit in my top 30. So I rewatched it and I'm like, yes, it deserves a spot.
That's awesome. I'm really glad our list continues to be. We've had one repeat so far. We may have a second, but I think overall we've done pretty good with keeping it spicy. So,
yes, I completely agree. And I think we'll continue to have a nice variety because you and I both have different tastes.
We do.
We have similar
but different. It's true. So my number 22, this was a movie that came out in 2021. This movie was a ghost story, but it was a ghost story about death following you and trying to get you and what a husband will do for a wife to keep her alive. And that movie is called The Night House.
Yeah.
From 2021. This is a very, very emotional film about love and commitment and what one will do in order to keep someone going. Rebecca Hall is in this film, and she fucking pulls off a phenomenal performance. It's this ghost haunting, but not really a haunting, Final Destination-y fucking film done right. If for some reason you didn't watch it, it was pretty popular and it did get a lot of love back in the day. So I feel as though I'm preaching to the choir on this one. But if for some reason you have missed it and you are into that kind of creepy ghost-like stories, The Night House 2021, check it out. It's on all the streaming services.
Yep, this was one that I thought was really good. It just did not stick with me as much as it did with a lot of other people. But I still, a lot of respect for this film. Very good, very haunting.
Absolutely, right?
And yeah, this one may come as a surprise because it's definitely one we haven't talked about in quite some time. But that is my number 22 is from 2021. I think it was an Indonesian film on Shudder, and it was I think remake or another sequel. I don't know with this one for sure, but Queen of Black Magic from 2021.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, it was a remake. Yeah.
Yes, I was like, I swore it was, but I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Yeah. But yeah, we watched this for, I think it was our Indonesian horror episode.
We did.
Rewatched it.
Yeah.
And god damn it is a very
gory,
disturbing and gory film. Like the people finding the school bus full of children and what happened to the kids. Oh my god, that is like such a haunting scene. And then the rest of the film as basically they are suffering in their own personal hell. It was a messed up movie and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I remember the gore in that film and the special effects and Indonesian fucking horror. And that's the thing about Indonesian horror. They're like, yeah, you think everyone's going to be okay? Fuck you.
Yeah, nope.
You're all fucked.
If you're not fucked, you're going to be scarred for the rest of your life.
Right? Everyone's mad. You're all dying. Haha, fuck you. Right? And I love that about Indonesian films. Great pick, Scotty. Great pick. And I believe it's still on Shudder. I think it's still on Shudder.
I think so.
So if you missed it, please go check it out. It is definitely worth it. All right, we're just about to exit the 20s.
All right.
And as we got here, I tended to get a little bit more pressured on what I was going to pick. I was like, well, what kind of sat to me as a really, what did I really enjoy? And it's hilarious because I'm not a big fan of this franchise. I'm not. Scott loves it. He worships Bruce Campbell. And he thinks that Bruce Campbell is the best thing since fucking sliced bread. Everyone loves Bruce Campbell. And don't get me wrong, I like the Evil Deads. They're great. But damn it, do I not love Evil Dead Rises from 2023?
Fuck yeah.
And that got number 21 on my list because fuck man, that movie was good. fuck, it was good. It was gory. It hit me in the feels. I liked all the characters. I didn't want anyone to die. I loved how fucking evil the demon was. Fuck yeah,
Like-
Evil Dead Rises. Fuck yeah.
Like it straight up did what I think the Evil Dead remake of 2013 kind of failed to do, and that is the sadistic, dark humor that the Deadites portray throughout all the Evil Dead franchise, except for in the remake. The remake, they don't really have any humor. But in Evil Dead Rise, it's their own sick humor, but it's like, yep, they're fucking with you. And that is exactly what I think they nailed that. And yeah, like you said, I didn't want anyone to die. And the people that got taken out, it was just shocking. Like, oh, I did not expect that. And
Yep.
like the way it was shot, the intensity for pretty much going from 0 to 100, like with pacing. Yeah, that's awesome to hear that you have it on your list.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, 'cause you know my love for this franchise.
I know.
And it's
There's
always
a plot
growing
twist
love.
going on over here at Friday Nightmares. There's some big ones that I were in that list so far that I don't think you thought I was going to have on that list. So
No, that is one I definitely did not think you'd have there.
Yeah.
Same with Nosferatu.
Yeah.
So yeah, my number 21 then is one that I would be shocked if it's on yours at all. And that is 2020's Color Out of Space.
Great film, but no, it is not.
Yeah,
You're correct. But
I know.
very good film.
This one, not only is it just haunting and kind of just trippy and scary, it is beautiful.
Yes.
It is vibrant and colorful. Nick Cage going completely unhinged and not as typical Nick Cage fashion, but like just literally just like losing his fucking mind and
Yep.
the shit that happens to this family and the people around him. And it's Lovecraft, one of the best Lovecraft adaptations in at least modern day. Like
Agreed.
freaking fantastic. It would have been higher, but rewatching it didn't hit as hard as it did when it first came out for me.
Yeah.
But rewatching it, it's still obviously almost made it to number 20. So it's still a damn
It's a good
movie.
film. It's a solid fucking film. And it was very creative and again did Lovecraft right. I'm not a big Lovecraft fan, as you know, but I can appreciate what the film did.
Yeah.
And it definitely deserves to be recognized. So as we do number 20, this is where it gets a little silly. This was a film that I don't think a lot of people loved. It was a Canadian film.
Of course.
Of course. And that's not why I loved it. I loved it because it's how the way it addressed consumerism and the way how we think we're making the ethical choice, whether we are or not. And the truth is not always the truth. And it was a dig at Roots in Canada. So fuck you, Roots. And that is the movie Slack from 2021.
As soon as you said
blue jeans.
consumerism, I'm going, yep, I know exactly which movie you're talking about. This fun movie.
Yeah, fun movie. And if you watch it from just a evil pair of jeans perspective that's been cursed, it's fun too. And the kills in it are fun. But if you watch it from more of what they're trying to say, from people storming the lobby for a sale and people getting hurt to saying that things are ethically done in factories overseas where they're not, where it's basically rich white countries exploiting lower third world countries. You have that to it too, right?
Using influencers to promote this said product and
and you can watch it just on surface value of, a pair of killer jeans, or you can see the other thing that they're trying to say here is just be like, we're not as great as we think we are just because you think you're being this ethical, like, I only buy from this. Do you really know? Right. And I think that it did a great job of questioning that. It's a shame that just came out during COVID. And I think that it probably would have got a little bit more love if it had come out maybe during a different time. I think it was a little ahead. I think if this was released in 2025, it would be a hit, to be honest with you, especially with the way the world's going right now. I think that a lot of people would be digging this. So if for some reason you skip this and you do like some social political mixed in with some fun little body horror, I recommend Slack from 2021. You should be able to find it on streaming services, and see what you think.
Yep, because even like me, I'm not too I do like the social political messages sometimes, and this one, I totally get it. But for me, it was just a killer pair of jeans. I am here for it.
Here for it. 'Cause some of the kills were funny. They were pretty funny. But yeah, what's your 20? Number 20.
Mine, number 20. This is another one that I'm sure will not be on your list. Also comes from the year of 2020, and that is the Brazilian horror comedy that was on Shudder, Ghost Killers versus Bloody Mary.
Oh man, that was a good movie. Yeah, that was great.
This one, it basically is, we're paranormal investigators going to a haunted house.
Haunted house.
Except it turns into Evil Dead, slapsticky, gory comedy, just balls to the wall with the ridiculousness. What was there, like a giant poo monster
Oh
dancing
man.
dancing dead baby fetus that was peeing on people?
That was funny. Yeah. I remember.
It,
I remember.
it is so just gave me that like Dead Alive, Evil Dead slapsticky humor, but in a Brazilian style, and it was just so much freaking fun. And I am still trying to find a good copy of this somewhere to own. So far, all I've been able to find is a DVD, and I want a fucking Blu-ray of it. Damn it!
Oh man, it was fun. That was a fun fucking film. And I remember how much you liked it.
And
I'm
yeah,
glad to go down this memory lane with you.
and I remember you had such a hard time finding it because Shudder did not have it on
Oh
your.
god, it was a pain. How did I eventually watch it? Maybe
You,
Plex?
yeah, say you eventually found it on Plex. The first time you found it on Plex, there was no subtitles, so you gave up, and then like a couple months later, finally they put subtitles. Someone put subtitles to it.
Yeah, it took forever to watch it, but it was excellent, the gore. I remember the gore being fucking top notch.
And I remember you messaged me going, "This is a total Scotty film."
Oh yeah. It was totally you. It's like how Slack was me, right?
Yeah.
Like there's just certain things that speak to you. So for number 19 for me, we're going to jump into 2022, and this is going to be the first film from 2022 I've had on my list actually.
Oh wow.
And this was a movie that starts off one way, that you think this girl has found a really decent dude, and she goes on this romantic weekend away with him. And then she finds out that he's selling her body parts to people that are rich to eat these chicks. And she's now part of the package of what he cuts up and sells to people to consume. And that movie is called Fresh.
Yeah,
from
that's
2022. Right. This was a pretty popular film when it came out, so I'm not going to go into it too much. It was talked about quite a lot. I've covered it on multiple podcasts. I think I've talked about it many times. But there's a reason, it was likable characters. It was a story that you were like, yeah, this shit probably does happen. Like, yeah, not to this sensationalized, but yeah, probably does.
Yeah.
And it had a very good outcome to it. So for some reason you skipped Fresh from 2022, I recommend that you find it on streaming services. You should be able to find it out there somewhere.
Yeah, I believe this was a Hulu original.
I think it was Hulu, yeah. So it's probably on Hulu, though you can probably rent it as well. So if you're interested, it's a solid film.
Yeah, I do agree. This was also not on my list, but I think it was in my top 20 of that year.
Yes.
I found it to be very entertaining, very engrossing. Don't remember a whole lot of it until you started talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This one, my number 19. I'm just gonna say it's not really much to talk about because we already talked about it. But 2024, Heretic. I just love the messaging of
nice.
Kind of just bashing religions on how they're just copying each other and this and that from previous religions and this that. It's basically, from a theological standpoint, totally makes sense, like the way this nutcase is going about talking about everything. And
agreed.
Yeah, an amazing, just gripping movie in my eyes, and just definitely kind of points a finger at a religion and goes, "Yep, these are your flaws. Here they are out in the open."
And the delivery of Hugh Grant, like we talked about, he won Villain of the Year, he and the characters in it, Sister Barnes and Sister Noble, I think.
Yes.
Fucking awesome characters. That's a must-watch movie.
100%.
From 2024 for sure. So for my number 18, we're going back to 2021.
Oh, right.
And we're going back to a movie that probably people like Venom, Don and Ellie watched. I know you watched it as well. I don't know if a lot of other folks watched it. I can see Matt Wood did watch it, Dave Bailey watched it, Mark Nato watched it. And they all gave it 3.5 stars. And I remember the ending was a real gut punch, and that is the Djinn. So to recharge your memory, what is done cannot be undone. A mute boy is trapped in his apartment with a sinister monster when he makes a wish to fulfill his heart's greatest desire. And
Yeah,
his
holy
dad
shit.
has to
Wow.
save him.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
you just unlocked a core memory there for me because I completely forgot about this movie. Even you saying the name of it, it did not ring a bell. I'm like, did I even watch this? And then, yep, wow.
Yeah. So a young boy who is deaf discovers this monster, this place, and his dad, and basically fights to save him. We'll leave it at that. So this is an IFC film. It is also on Shutter still. So if you want to look on Shutter for it, it is there. I enjoyed this. I find this kind of like a superstition ghost supernatural film. The ending I thought was very clever, and I thought the young man in it was quite good for a child actor who doesn't speak.
Yeah,
He does a pretty good job of portraying emotions and how he's feeling and what he wants and what it's like to feel excluded and what you'll do to get that. Kind of very Wishmaster-ish, only not as cheesy.
yes.
And that is the Djinn from 2021, available on Shutter if anyone is interested.
Hey, you are bringing the
I know I'm
underground
keeping it
hits.
spicy here, huh?
Yes, you are.
Right.
I'll say mine's not going to be spicy, though it is going to be a hot take because you and I both have argued about this being a horror movie, saying yes, this is absolutely a horror movie.
Okay.
So this is my number 18 is 2023's Beau is Afraid
Oh
by Ari
yeah.
Aster.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So
It's a good film.
yeah, so many people call this just a dark comedy that's more drama. I'm like, it's horror, his anxiety, the shit this
Yeah.
guy goes through, absolute horror, but it is such a wild fucking ride when you watch this movie. It goes from it's like three movies in one. It just goes from
Mm-hmm.
one thing to another, and Joaquin Phoenix does such an amazing job as Beau, and like all the characters in it are so eccentric, and just once again, this is one of those that just stands out as a unique film.
It 100% fucking does. I thought it was a great, well-made film, and the anxiety that's presented in it is so fucking hashtag real and authentic. You know, it's
Yeah,
a good movie. I don't know why people shit on it and say that it's not a horror movie. I don't know. It's definitely a fucking horror movie.
it absolutely is. If you deal with anxiety and depression, or yeah, any type of mental illness, this is like, oh yeah, this is what it's like living in your own head.
100%. Good one to bring to the table. So for 17, I went back to 2020. And in typical Netflix fashion, they're very good at bringing international horror.
Mhm.
And this movie was remade, and the remake was fine, but the original was good, and that is hashtag alive.
Oh
So
yes,
this is about a gentleman who wakes up and there's a zombie outbreak, and he's in his apartment and he's trying to survive, get out, and the special effects, the character development, how you feel about this guy, and how he carries majority of the film on his own, was incredible. And it stood out to me. I can still picture the apartment and him trying to get back to his apartment to escape one of the zombies, and him trying to close the door and then one charging through, and him trying to like outsmart the zombie, and they're fast moving infected. I guess they're infected, not zombies. They're infected. And it's a fucking great film. And we've seen so many zombie movies now that I guess like at this, or infected movies now, that by this point you'd be like, oh my god, another film. But if you go back to 2020, this was actually quite unique and different. And it was just well made and well filmed, and it also came out at the right time where COVID, where you felt isolated and you couldn't go
yes,
anywhere. And I think it kind of was like, it obviously had no relationship to COVID, but I think it kind of like was a movie that came out during COVID that reminded you of COVID, but you can watch it now and it's not talking about COVID. Like there's certain
yes,
movies that if you go back to watch it, they were great at the time, but now, or Safer at Home is an example of one that you watch then and it's really, really good, but you go back to watch it now and you're like, oh, what was the one that was filmed just on Zoom? Do you remember that one?
that was yeah. There was Safer at Home, and then Host, I think was the other one.
Host, right? But it, also great, but kind of takes you back to that COVID time of being like, it's COVID, no one can go
Hmm.
anywhere. where hashtag alive went through what we were all going through, but it was based on a true like zombie apocalypse or infection apocalypse. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still on Netflix. I don't know if it's still there, if it's gone. Netflix sometimes gets rid of shit, but
I believe it
if you're,
is.
is it?
I think so because Erica and I recently watched that probably within the last year and a half, and it was on
Okay.
Netflix.
Okay. So hashtag alive if anyone's interested. I really enjoyed it at the time.
Great freaking pick because that movie is very intense, and
Mm-hmm.
you feel for the character. The American remake, was so fucking unnecessary. It did nothing,
Right.
and it was
Yeah.
nothing compared to what this one was. It was intense from beginning to end.
Right.
Very good choice because that's another one that just missed my list.
Yeah. Fair enough. Right.
But number 17 for me, number 17. We are going to 2024. One that we've talked about before quite a bit recently, and that is Late Night with the Devil.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
The acting, the set designs, the story, everything about it, just perfect. Mwah! Excellent movie. Would have been higher, but there's a lot of good movies this is contending with for me that stick with me. And
Absolutely.
I wasn't trying to do recency biased on this. I was trying to be like as fair as I possibly could.
Absolutely. I think that's fair. And that may come up again.
I have a
Just to be
feeling.
clear, it may come up again. So my number 16, this was a film that we went on and we talked about with Fresh Cuts and we really analyzed it at the time. And this was during 2020. It was about a couple who goes to look at this model home and then never gets to leave. And that is Vivarium 2020.
Man.
So
yeah, you are bringing the underground hits. I love it.
Right? This movie basically talked about expectations of life. Short form of it, there's this couple, they're not married. They go to look at a model home and they get left there and they can't leave. And they get food delivered and eventually this baby shows up that they have to raise. And now this all sounds really weird. You're probably listening to this if you haven't seen this movie and like, well, why wouldn't they just leave? It's a very good question. They can't. This is very science fiction-y. It's a very much a play on being stuck in this pattern that you feel like you have to be in. And it's an A24 film without being an A24 film because I don't think it was A24, but it gives that vibe that it is an A24 IFC film in the sense that it is very artistic and it is very much something that kind of plays on societal expectations, but man is it creepy and man is it good. So if you skipped Vivarium from 2020, I recommend you go back and check it out.
Yeah, that's this one. Yeah, we did a very in-depth review of this one with everybody at Fresh Cuts.
Yeah.
I think that was before Don and Nelly. I think it was just Mike Merriman and Venom.
I believe it was, yeah.
But yeah, we went very in depth talking about how the baby represents the cuckoo bird because the cuckoo bird will kick the old another bird's baby out of the nest and replace it with its egg to be raised by another bird and all this detail in it and how it's kind of like a video game in a way, like the way everything's portrayed and just kind of like the inside details and inner workings, and then like you were talking with the socio-political part of being people that don't want to have a family but then are now forced into this situation and how it takes away from your life and feeling stuck and trapped. And such a good fucking movie, and it's just very visually pleasing to look at as well because it's very, very, very well done all around. This was also one that was just shy of making my list.
Well, I'm glad that you also enjoyed it, though.
Oh yeah, I love this movie. Sorry, I got a text and screwed up what I was looking at. Okay, so there we go. So my number 16 is 2021. Speaking of beautifully done, is Last Night in Soho.
Woo!
Good old Edgar Wright with his incredible editing stylings and just kind of cutting back, like especially during the dance scene with Anya Taylor-Joy and I forget the other guy, but like cutting in between and like going from person to person to person to person, like the way it is cut, it just goes with the music. It is so beautifully done. It is such a intriguing giallo-like thriller that has like a very good twist towards the end, and just once again just all around beautiful movie and stylish. It's horrific, it's scary, it keeps you guessing. The acting, the pacing, everything in this was just fucking top tier.
I very much agree, and I can just say that it may come up again as well.
Ooh, all right.
Yes, I thought it was a standout movie. I praise it all the time. I encourage people to watch it, even if you're not a horror fan. I think that you have to watch this movie in terms of just how it's made and the
Yes.
acting. It's so fucking good. Now my number 15 is not good acting, just to be clear. This is by no stance a good film. I know I'm gonna say what this film is, and Matt Wood is gonna shake his head and go drink 2 pints at the bar, one in each hand, to forget that I said that this was number 15 on my top 30. But I don't give a fuck. And that, my friends, is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey from 2023, because I fucking love that movie.
The first one, not the second one, huh?
The first one, yes. You know why? Because you left. That's why. That ending scene, to me, is one of the best ending scenes in a horror film.
I knew this would be on your list somewhere.
Yes. I love that Pooh gave no fucks to Christopher Robin and was like, go fuck yourself. You got us in this situation. I'm not going to go on about forever on it. Everyone knows my love of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. But funny enough, I never really liked the actual cartoon Winnie the Pooh. I found him fucking annoying. And same with Tigger and Eeyore and that whole fucking gang. So maybe this is why I like it so much, because they're everything that I found annoying in the cartoon. They're against it. But
that is fair.
Number 15, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Very good choice. Not on my list, but I fucking love those movies.
Right.
May not like the spin-offs they are creating at the moment, but I'm still going to give every one of them a shot because I just got to.
You got to support the Pooh universe.
Exactly.
Right? The Poohiverse.
Number 15 is one from 2023 for me that was an adaptation of a book, and it was a Halloween-themed movie. And
yes.
I can't help but love this movie so much, but it is Dark Harvest.
Fuck yeah, Scotty. Fuck yeah.
The whole just sacrificing of someone to turn them into the killer pumpkin that goes on a slaughtering spree every single year, and you find this out throughout this town, and the aesthetic, I think it was like the 60s or 70s aesthetic of it. The kills are top notch. Like, it's gory, it's creepy. The pumpkin monster is so awesomely designed, and it's one of the few times I will ever say this, but the movie is actually better than the book.
What?
Yeah. Might be because I watched the movie first. But I read the book shortly after I got back into reading like I have been, and the way it is told, it is not as gory. It's not nearly as good of a story, and it's told in a different way. But the movie just takes the things that are really good about the book and just ramps it up even more.
You know, I went by this movie and I thought about it was in my honorable. It was definitely in my top 40. It's a great fucking film. Great fucking film.
Yep, this is one that I watch every Halloween now.
As you should. It is rewatchability. I know Tim Davis is a big fan of it too.
Yes.
And I think that it deserves to be acknowledged and talked about. So if someone has missed Dark Harvest, definitely check that bad boy out. It was a good fucking movie. Back during the time of 2020, theaters were open on and off. Another Canadian film came out, and George and I were the only people in the theater to go see this movie. And both of us almost pee-peed our pants during scenes in this film. And this film, number 14, is Come Play.
Yeah.
And, you know, this was a movie about a young boy and his imaginary friend. And this movie really got me in the feels about how lonely this young man is, and then in essence how lonely the monster is, and what the mother will do to save her son. A lot of people rank this highly. 4 stars from Mark Nato when it came out, 3.5 from you when it came out, 3.5 from Tim Davis. You know, and I think it's a shame that it wasn't talked about as much at the time, and I do think that had a lot to do with it being COVID. And it just having a limited release. But this is definitely something, if you love supernatural stuff, if you like the whole technology and, you know, how a kid can get manipulated through technology, which is kind of what this is talking about. Like, it's cool. It's not AI. It's like creepy ghost shit, loneliness.
Yes.
So check out Come Play from 2020. You can find it. I'm just looking it up right now. It's on tons of streaming services. So just look it up and rent it. It's definitely worth your time.
Yes, I remember going to the theater to see this one as well. I think it was based on your recommendation because it was shortly after theaters started opening up here. And yeah, I think there was like 3 or 4 other people in the theater with me. Granted, I went to a matinee because that's how I always rolled back in the day. And yeah, I don't remember a whole lot about it nowadays because it wasn't one that stuck with me nearly as much
Yeah.
as it did you. But I do remember, the 3.5 is still a 7 out of 10 for me.
I know, remember
It's
you
an
enjoyed
enjoyable
it.
film. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew it isn't going to stay with you, but I remember you liked it at the time.
Yeah, so I'm liking that we've been bringing like completely different styles
Mm-hmm.
to our lists. Though this one, I copies you. It
Yeah,
is
that's okay.
number 14, 2023, one of the best horror franchises out there, and that is Evil Dead Rise.
Very nice.
I fucking love this movie so much. It made me so happy, and I cannot wait for the next, I guess, 2 sequels coming out of that are planned. Evil Dead Burns is one of them. I don't know what the other one's going to be called, but I'm here for it. Britt, give me
I'm
all
here
the
for
Evil
it
Deads.
too. If it's anything like Evil Dead Rise, I'm down for it. So
And I think it's from the same director. So, yes, give me more.
excellent. I'm excited for that. So my number 13 is a movie that was filmed in Michigan. It we both loved it when it came out for the twist that's in it. It starts off like Airbnb horror gone bad. Airbnb horror gone bad, and it kind of turns around to being something that you never really thought. Justin Long plays such a fucking asshole in this
Oh,
film. And it is Barbarian from 2022. If anything, watch this movie for Justin Long's performance. He plays such a piece of shit,
oh,
and
he
it's
so
great.
does.
It's great.
And yeah, for some reason it just wasn't dawning on me, but we'll be talking about that later as well. Cause
Yes.
yeah, yes, fuck yeah.
Yes. Fuck yeah,
I
right?
I went to the theater for that one, and that one just put such a huge smile on my face because I'm like, this is a theatrical release. This is insane. I love it.
It was insane that was released in the theaters when you think about it, right? It was kind of
Yeah.
insane. Yeah,
Oh, it made me
totally.
smile. But awesome. That makes me happy. And my number 13, I also copies you again. And my number 13 is from 2024. I believe it was your number 30, and that is Nosferatu by
3
Robert Eggers.
days.
The one thing we didn't bring up when you talked about it was the look of Nosferatu.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
creepy.
So good.
And that pullback at the end when it's showing his full body and how decayed and rotted it was. It's like, oh, that is fucking creepy. I loved
Mhm.
everything about this movie. The way it was filmed, the acting, story. I mean, it's a story that's been told a million times, but I watched it a few weeks back finally because I wasn't able to catch it before we did our
Yeah.
award show
Yeah.
and just fucking loved it.
It's a good film.
Yeah, perfect movie. It was close to my top 10, but it just got pushed out just by a few others.
Hey, it's still pretty good when you think of the top 30 of all the films we watched, because we literally have watched hundreds of films. So for it to be that high is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
My number 12 was the OG of a movie that was remade this year. And it was much better. I watched the remake. The remake is fine. James McAvoy did a great job
Oh,
in the remake. He's fine, but nothing beats the original. And the original is Speak No Evil 2022.
fuck. Talk about a movie that just gets under your skin and you're so
Mm-hmm.
fucking frustrated with the characters because of the decisions they
Mm-hmm.
make.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like dumb horror movie character decisions. It's just dumb people decisions like why would you do that?
It's such a movie that explores the concept of being polite and the
Yes.
concept of not wanting to rock the boat, and demasculation and so many other things. And the original is by far superior to the remake. The
Oh,
remake is
100%.
fine. Not to shit on it. I think it's a great movie on its own accord in the sense that it's entertaining. But if you're looking for the actual creepiness and message, then I recommend the OG.
100%.
Yeah. So what's your number 12?
My number 12 is another international film. I believe this was Korean. But that is one that was very over the top with the gore and the violence and just the horrific nature of what people will do when their inhibitions are left unchecked. And that is 2021's The Sadness.
I knew what you were going to say.
Oh my God, the depraved acts that happen in this, and it just ran. It's like hashtag alive with the infected.
Yes,
but
yes.
The infected just have their inhibitions like unleashed, and they can do whatever they fucking want.
And there's some fucked up scenes in that film.
Yeah, there is some really fucked up, disturbing scenes.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the reasons why it sticks with me after 4 years.
You know, when I was doing my list, I went past it and I paused and I was like, yeah, that was a really good film. I'm like, but did I like it? Well, I liked it, but I'm like, nah. So it's in my top 40 as well. Because it is a great fucking movie and it's dark. Like, it's real dark. So if anyone's interested in checking it out and you missed it, you want fucking dark, you're going to get dark. Like, it doesn't hold back, so be prepared.
And I just found out too, the director that made this movie is going to be doing the Crossed comic series, which adaptation into a movie, which is what I thought The Sadness was an adaptation of already because of what the people in the Crossed do to others. So I'm going, oh, so if he's actually going to adapt the Crossed comics, oh, he's going to show some shit. Okay, I'm here for it.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, see what he comes up with, right?
Yeah, I'm here for it. But yeah, that Sadness is one of those movies where I watched it, I think, twice, and it's just haunted me. It's like, this is one
100%.
of those.
It is haunting, and the ending's haunting too.
And it's one of those where it's so disturbing and haunting, but at the same time, I can't help but go back and rewatch it.
It's good. That's why it's a solidly fucking made film.
Yeah.
My number 11 is something you've already said, and it's Candyman.
Fuck yeah.
2021. I don't think I need to add anything else to it. Just that I agree with you. Great fucking movie. It was my number 11. I enjoyed it so much.
Hell yeah, that is awesome. And just because you knew this title of this movie would have to be brought up at some point by me, but for my number 11, 2022, stop on by the Clown Cafe. Stop on by the Clown Cafe. So, Terrifier 2, Art came back in a huge fucking way with this movie, a 2.5 hour long, insane romp of a movie. Some of the most disturbing kills I've seen put on screen. The fact that it did so damn well in theaters shocked everybody and just cemented. This was the one that I think cemented Art the Clown as a horror icon going forward. And I will be championing this movie days and days or years and years to come. Fucking love this franchise now. It is Art the Clown is one of my favorites.
I love it. Yeah, and he has made himself a horror icon, and that is something that has definitely come out of the last couple of years.
Yeah, the fact that you can go to Spirit Halloween and see Art the Clown costumes up on shelves, it's just like, yep, that's where he's at now.
Right? You know you've made it, right?
Yeah.
You know you've made it. As we get to number 10, and we get to our top 10, this is where I'm curious to see where Scott and I will overlap. And this is one that I'm wondering if he's going to bring up. Hi, Erica. Oh, Erica's here. Hi, Erica.
She's waving.
She's his number one. She's actually all of our number ones of 2022 to 2024.
I was going to say, she's definitely my number one. But yeah, Heather just said, you're our number one from 2020 to 2024, babe.
She's the best thing to come out of that. Besides this movie, of course. Just kidding. So this movie, I think you may have in your top 10. I'm excited to see, because I want you to know something, Scott. Not only does Erica love you, but Benny loves you.
Oh.
And he loved you back in 2021 before Erica was even here. So
sorry to disappoint.
Oh no. Well,
it didn't make it.
Number 10 for me, baby. Benny loves you.
Oh, fuck yeah. Benny loves you. Benny loves you. God on me.
and I'm not sure if I love this so much because Brandon Orlick from the Exploding Heads movie podcast and Scott and I have a group chat and we would constantly say that to each other all the time.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's just a leftover from the good times of us making those ridiculous jokes to each other. But I thought this movie was so cute, so funny. Benny is so fucking cute but scary, and the fact that the guy wrote it, directed it, acted in it, did it all. It was such a fucking great film. So if you're some reason you skipped over Benny Loves You, please go back and watch it. It's a great horror comedy.
Yeah, this is one that I've rewatched multiple times too, and it should have been on my list actually. Now that I think about it,
Yeah,
there's some other movies that could have taken out of there. I regret it now because Benny Loves You is just so much fucking fun.
You know what? Good news, Benny still loves you.
Okay, good. I love Benny, but yeah, Tickle Me Elmo basically on steroids and crystal meth.
Best description.
So we're gonna go from cute, cuddly, and terrifying to just straight up. Oh, I'm unnerved and I'm uncomfortable. And why is this? Why am I watching this movie? So my number 10 is 2023's When Evil Lurks.
Oh man, good fucking film. I was gonna put it on my list. Fuck, it's so dark.
So goddamn dark,
Man,
and such
so
a
dark.
punch in the gut with some of the things that happen in this film. Like if there are people out there that have not seen this yet, do yourself a favor and be prepared to be horrified. But this is pure horror. And this, I want to look up the director because I know he did Terrified, not Terrifier, but Terrified.
Yeah, Terrified, which was also very creepy.
Yes, Damien Rugna.
Ah, yes.
And I think this was also Indonesian. I could be wrong on that, but either way, this is a must-see, especially, and also watch Terrified before that, because these movies are incredible, but at the same time, it leaves you feeling just drained and and just done. Like it's one of those horror films that literally will get under your skin.
It is. That is the best fucking description. Super fucking dark. Very different from Benny Loves You. So it's good that 100%. We're keeping it very, very fluffy and fresh here.
Number 9.
Now if this isn't on your list, I don't know if we can podcast together anymore. Because you love this film like a lot. But maybe you forgot. So we'll see. This was a one set movie. And it was based on a family in a situation that they can't get out of. And it was We Need to Do Something from 2021. Is it on your list?
It's not.
Scotty!
It was.
I can't believe you took it off.
Wow. I took it off at the last minute because we rewatched it recently, and I still fucking love that movie. But it didn't hit me nearly as much, though. To this day, I am a good boy. It still fucking terrifies me every time. And I love it so much that I found out that this was based off a book, and I found the audiobook and listened to it, and it is like damn near scene for scene like the movie. Like it was an amazing adaptation. Like
that is awesome.
So this movie is a high Scotty recommend, but it was one of those where I'm looking at all these movies on my list and I'm going, I don't know which one's got to go. I think this was literally 31, like when I had 31 movies, and I was like, just thinking, I'm like, okay, which one? And at the last second, that's the one I decided to cut.
That's fair. To me, it was non-negotiable that this would be in my top 10. I'm
glad it is.
Yeah, it stood out to me. I thought it was like one set done well. The acting in it, the characters, how the anxiety that they were able to develop, the family dynamics that come into play. It's just such an all-around great film. Even Scott had it at 31. That means it was in his top, and we've watched hundreds of movies. So it's still very much worth your watch. It is We Need to Do Something from 2021. So if this isn't your number 9, Scott, I am dying to see what your number 9 is.
Well, you know me and my...
I thought I knew you, just to be clear.
Well, you know my style of movie of how I like the slapstickiness,
Yes,
goriness, and
this is true.
ridiculousness
Yep,
and
this is true.
body horror stuff.
Yep.
This is one that came out last year, 2024.
Okay.
It was in my top 10, and it started off as something very serious with a socio-political message, and then by the third act ramped into some fucking bonkers body horror dead alive style. So I am talking about Demi Moore's amazing performance in The Substance.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
if it would have stayed with the just very serious tone that it did for the first two acts, if it would have stayed that way the entire film, I don't think it would have been here right now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
that
yeah.
third act where it just goes fucking bonkers, and I'm like, I am here for this.
I love it. We will talk about that as well. Again.
Yeah, Monster Eliza Sue. Mwah!
Yeah, it was a great fucking film, and it had something for both you and I, which is why we will be bringing up again. We talked about it a
100%.
lot as well not that long ago, so we won't delve into it. If you haven't seen The Substance, go watch it. It's the best advice I think we can give. My number 8 is a film that I talked about last year. It is from a Cronenberg, and it's from Caitlin Cronenberg, and it is
Wow.
Humane. I
Holy
really
shit.
thought about it, and it really hit a nerve for me. I thought it was clever in the dialogue that was given. I thought the concept was probably not too far off of what we could see one day. And I really liked her style of delivery, and it sat with me. And with all these films, I thought about what sits with me, and it continues to. So I'm not going to go on to it because I talked about it already in our award show, but I look forward to seeing more from Miss Caitlin Cronenberg.
Yeah, the Cronenberg family.
Right? Talent.
That all have talent. They are
Yeah.
all amazing. But yeah, that is awesome. I did not expect to hear that one in the top.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
Keeping it spicy.
All right, so my number 8. This one you had brought up fairly recently as well. It is 2022's Barbarian. Um, bu- 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 the and the way this movie is filmed, it's two completely different, or yeah, technically three different movies that just kind of like come back together by the third part. It's
Yep.
Each act is like a different style and movie. Like I love it. And you don't know when you watch the trailer, they kept everything from you on what this movie was truly about. You were thinking it was
Yep.
one thing, and then it comes in to be a completely different thing, the different beast all its own, and it is so fucking fun. And just what, like you said, Justin Long just playing
Oh, he's such a dick. He's
he
such a
is
dick.
such
He's
an
so good
asshole.
though.
And yeah, just all around amazing and horrifying. And once again, I can't believe they showed this in theaters.
Yeah, like absolutely. For you, Miss Barbarian in 2022, please go, and not Barbarians. That's a different film. That we're talking about
Yes.
Barbarian from 2022. Both home related, but one good, one bad.
Yeah.
So, my number 7 is The Substance.
Fuck yeah.
So I don't feel like we need to talk lots about it. Go watch it. What is your number 7?
My number 7. Now, this one, if I was in a different spot in my life today, where I am today, would probably be higher on the list now. But now it's dropped because of where I'm at in my life.
Oh, because you're in love and shit?
Yep, pretty much. But
oh, gay. In a good gay, though.
I championed this for years and years and years, and I will always champion it. It was my number 1 of 2020. And this is the movie that got me through a hard part of my life, and that is After Midnight.
I'm glad that you're still giving it some love, even though you are in love.
Yep, I'll say I'm in a different spot now, like where I was 5 years ago.
Yeah, you are. Oh man!
But at that time, this movie had a lasting impact on me and helped me through such a difficult time. And I rewatched it with Erica, like I think shortly after she moved in with me, and like it still hit me in the feels. Like it's just such a great dialogue heavy, relationship heavy film about just dealing with, the if people don't know what this is about, it is basically about a guy that is getting attacked by a monster at his home every single night after his fiance left him. And the way the story plays out is basically this monster is a representation of loneliness and depression, and it's coming back to haunt him every single night until she returns.
Yeah.
And then she returns, and there is this, I'd say, a good 8 to 10 minute long scene with just talking about their relationship and why she left and feeling stuck and this and that. And I was freshly done with a divorce and at that time, and it just hit me in the right spot, hit me with the right feels. This movie will always have a very, very, very special place in my heart.
Yeah, I remember how much it impacted you, so I'm glad to see it come up again. Really good film. Really good film. I guess we're at number 6 now.
Yeah, we're getting close to our top 5s.
I was in one of these in Mexico. They had them at the resort that I was staying at, but they didn't have the other body double shit. So it's Infinity Pool from 2023.
Nice.
James.
Yes.
James.
Right now, you are making Tim Davis go.
I know, he's like, fucking bitch. But I thought this movie was so fucking clever. Yes, there's holes in it. Yes, there's issues. But I found it very intriguing. I found it very interesting. And I love at the end, both you and I have talked about who was the one that left and who stayed.
Yes.
Like, why did he stay? You know, and the impact of that. And less said about this, the better. It's not going to be for everybody. It is a Cronenberg film. It does have a lot of like metaphoric shit in it. But if you're interested, it's Infinity Pool from 2023. So what's your number 6?
That is an excellent one that did not make my list, but it's a fucking great movie. My number 6 is one of two films that's just straight up fun and puts a smile on my face that are in my top 10. This one was from 2023, and part of what helps me with this was not only is it a Christmas horror movie, but it is and it's not the one you're thinking, I guarantee it, but it is also a wonderful, wonderful homage to Gremlins, and that is Something in the Barn.
Oh, the little dwarves. Yes.
The little gnomes.
Gnomes. Sorry, norms.
This one was just so fucking fun. I love it.
It was fun.
I've watched it so many times, and it is literally, you could tell the director was like, I want to recreate Gremlins, but with gnomes, because this is exactly what fucking happens. And they even have their own rules, just like the Gremlins do. And it's just so fun. The family is just so freaking hilarious because they're like in a fish out of water scenario, being Americans coming to fucking Norway to live and not knowing anything about the culture and trying so hard and trying to be the friendly type. And then they just run into this little gnome hiding in the barn that you have to make sure you follow these rules or he will get pissed. And he gets pissed when the rules are not followed and mayhem ensues, and it's just so goddamn entertaining.
It is. It's a fun movie. I'm glad you brought it. It was a fun film.
I was like, because I know what you were thinking, and we may talk about that later.
Oh no, I thought you were going to say Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Oh,
that's what I thought you were going to say.
No,
I was like, because that also came out in 2023, so that's why right. I just thought you were going to say that one.
Nope. That I rewatched that one this year. It doesn't. It is fine.
Yeah, it's just fine. Okay, that's fair. Gnomes for life. Gnomies. My number 5 was the one that did not make it for you, but still stands up for me, even though it was a very simple, low budget film from 2020. I feel it shows what low budget can do, true low budget, and that is Live Scream.
Yeah, I knew you would still have this on your list.
Yeah, it definitely, if I go back to how I felt at the time and when I still think of the concept, I think it's fucking clever. I think as time goes on, it doesn't age as well, which is fine. You know, that happens. And also once the gig is up, the gig is up. But I do really value what this movie did. I thought it was something different, and I value what they did with such a true limited budget. So, and I know that there was a sequel that I'm waiting to get my little fingers on.
I
So
was just
hopefully I get
gonna
to watch
say,
it.
looks like it is now available. Like it must have came out in late October last year, but it's now available to rent on Amazon here in the U.S. I
I'll
seen
have to start checking.
it's not available for free for us to watch anywhere, but yep, I did notice it's available to rent on Amazon. And I'm very tempted
Okay.
to watch it. Doesn't have Gunnar Willis in it this time, so
No.
different characters. But yeah, we Erica and I recently watched this because it was one of the few movies I was like, okay, will this still be in my top 30? So I wanted to watch it. And yeah, it's still damn good. And like performance wise, Gunnar did such an amazing job just, portraying a character playing off of Twitch chat messages and being
Yep.
the only one being filmed really. And the fact that you still like get teary-eyed a little bit for the one character that is just in text message. You never actually see his face,
Yep.
and you just read his messages back to Gunnar in the movie, and it's heartbreaking. And
It is heartbreaking.
but yeah, still a great movie, but yeah, just did not hold up on the test of time, like comparatively, because it obviously didn't age as well, but it's still it was on Tubi. If people have not seen it, I think it's still there. Go check it out. It is a indie film done right.
100%. 100%.
And that was number 5 for you,
That
correct?
was.
All right. So my number 5 is I believe South Korean. I think this is South Korean, but it's from 2021, and that is the thriller slash horror film about a deaf mute girl who ends up witnessing a
Oh,
murder,
yes.
and then this serial killer starts hunting her and her family and friends down. And that
Yes.
movie is Midnight.
Midnight was good.
This movie was just had you in the feels. You were rooting for these characters. They were
Mm-hmm.
like her and her mother are just like such a good chemistry between the two of them. Like she was a smart final girl in the way that
Yes.
like she like
100%.
outsmarts him like in almost every corner.
Yep.
And like the cockiness of this guy as he's like stalking her because he thinks he can
Yep.
fuck with her and have fun with it. And Jesus Christ, this one is just like intense from beginning to end.
It is.
And yeah, you just feel for the characters. Like it is so well done.
I couldn't agree more, Scott. And it's a film that didn't get a lot of buzz, and it
Yeah.
deserves its day. So if people haven't watched it, please go and take a look. It's 2021, right?
Yep, this was I would never have watched it if it was not if it wasn't thanks to our good friend Xander, or as people know him, Dave Bailey. He recommended it to me and I fucking fell in love.
Yeah.
And I
Great
actually own
fucking
it
movie.
and I own a physical copy of it now too because of it.
Solid. It's a solid film. I'm glad you brought that. I forgot about that. Memory Unlocked. That was one Memory Unlocked you did for me. I forgot about that one. It was a good movie. Everyone should go check it out if they haven't had a chance to. It's definitely worth it. My number 4 is from my number 1 of 2022. And I'm not going to go into it too much because the movie's been talked about quite a bit, but it's Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I really was a big fan of that film. Social political oppression of women, getting my pussy eaten on a table. Who wouldn't want that done?
Oh
Vicious, like very enthusiastically too, might I add. The most enthusiastic oral sex scene I've seen since Bloody Christmas. And like, I don't know, a life of living at the spa that is not what it seems to be. Florence Pugh always delivers a solid performance. Harry Styles was great in this too, actually. Even though he's a singer, I thought he played his character well. And I do think they had chemistry. I don't know why people shit on them. I thought they were a fun couple, actually, to be honest with you. Besides the fact that Harry's not who we think he is. So, if you haven't checked it out, Don't Worry, Darling, 2022, baby. Go watch it.
That is an excellent movie. Like I had that one in my, I'd say it was top 40 to 42, somewhere around there when I was still trimming down the list.
Nice.
And it was one of those where we also argued, is it horror? Fuck yes, it is.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, it is.
Well, I guess I will jump into my number 4 now, and it is the last 2024 film I will be talking about on this list. And it's a sequel to a sequel I already brought up, and it's also another Christmas movie. It was my number 1 from last year, and that is fucking Terrifier 3, baby. Uh, this one, I've like I had talked about when we recorded our award show. I watched this 4 times, and rewatching for me in that small amount of time is a huge fucking deal.
Yeah,
And yep, one thing I forgot to bring up about Terrifier 2, but Terrifier 2 brought us the amazing and badass character of Sienna as well.
that
And
is true.
she comes back in this, and she's left traumatized from what happened in part 2, and she still does an amazing job and still ends up being a badass. But yeah, Art the Clown, amazing. I've talked about this, I've gushed about it a million times. Fuck yeah, Terrifier 3, my number 4. I absolutely love this movie.
Fuck yeah. And my number 3 is, well, when I went to London the first time, I sent
Oh boy, here we go. No.
Brandon and Scotty a picture of me in Soho. And I
Ah,
said,
nice.
looks like I'm in the Last Night in Soho. So number 3
Yeah.
is Last Night in Soho. And I got to go to Soho. So, we did it all. Great fucking movie. We've already talked about it. I don't need to reiterate it. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's fucking horror movie, British films, everything done right.
Fuck yeah. Great choice. Glad to see it's being given love up top.
Yep, absolutely.
My number 3 now, I would be very shocked, very, very shocked if this is not on your list of what's left. But it came from 2020. It was my number 2 of that year, if I remember correctly. And if I also remember correctly, it was yours and Brandon's number 1. And that is a video dating site movie with basically just a few characters, but you felt for this guy until he fucking snaps. But the movie I'm talking about is Rent-A-Pal from 2020. Will Wheaton also is in this, and he is the friend on the videotape, and he's so goddamn creepy. But you feel for the main character, which I cannot remember his name for the life of me right now. But you feel so bad for him because he's just a dude who's taking care of his mother who suffers from dementia. And he's just trying to put himself back out there and trying to find someone to love, and he's just socially awkward, and you just feel for him so much. But then towards the end, it's just everything that happens is just so goddamn tragic.
It is
but
tragic.
but it is one of those movies that it will stick with you after you watch it.
Well, it will definitely be brought up.
Good, I
And
had
it's
a
gonna
feeling.
and we're gonna narrow it down because I'm gonna give you my number 2, so you're gonna know where it stands, but that's okay. My number 2 is Late Night with the Devil 2024.
Oh wow, nice.
So when I thought about films that I have enjoyed, I've rewatched this recently and I can't get over David. I can never say his name right. Duchney?
Yeah,
Duchney?
Dashni, something like that.
Performance. Like, I just think he's so fucking good in that film, and it nails it for me. Nails it. So it is my number 2, Late Night with the Devil 2024.
All right, so wow, I'm happy to hear these.
Yeah, yeah.
Yay! So my number 2, oh, it's one of the greatest movies ever made. But I rewatched it recently, and it made me smile like a giant kid from ear to ear. The special effects are incredible. The humor is awesome. The characters are hilarious. Even the psychotic one that is the main character that a lot of people seem to hate and can't stand. And I am talking about PG Psycho Gorman, not my hunky boys.
Good old Psycho
Ah,
Gorman.
I fucking love this movie so damn much. We rewatched it just a week ago, and Erica was like, "This movie's fun. It is one of those just bad movies, and it's so dumb it's fun." I went, "Oh, how dare you call it a bad movie and so dumb it's
And
fun.
that's when you called off the wedding, right?
I was like, we can't stand for this. I am
Yeah.
disappointed in you. It is not a bad movie. It is a fucking masterpiece.
She's like, all right, babe. Yeah, you got it. Right up there.
But yes, this is like forever quotable. I own 2 different shirts, one of them thanks to Brandon. Um, I just love these characters. Mimi is a psychotic little girl that probably ends up growing up to be a serial killer, and that's
Yeah.
kind of why I fucking adore her, because it's just like, yep, she is psycho and she's messed up. And I was saying, I know Daniel Luffy's probably just going, oh no.
Hey, it's our fucking show. We like what we like.
That's right, Loof Loof or Mushroom.
I am so glad to hear that it was on here. I was a little worried that you weren't going to bring it up, but I'm glad I still know you.
Yes.
Great film, Canadian film, great special effects, very fun. I'm glad that we're giving it some love. You knew my number one. You already talked about it. It's Rent-A-Pal from 2020.
That is so fucking awesome. It has not left that spot.
It is not. And, when I thought about when, and this was a really good experience for us doing this, because I looked at all my number one movies and I was like, okay, like really, that's what's going to be in the top here, right? Like, my number one films, I'm going to have to include them somehow. And I looked at all of them and I'm like, yeah, Rent-A-Pal. Still to this day, Rent-A-Pal. It just stood out to me so much as new but familiar. David the Bachelor, Andy on the videotape.
That's what it was, David. Yes.
The video dating, the 90s feel, the roller skating date they go on, her showing up with like a casserole and walking into chaos. And the slow descent into madness. It is such a fucking good film. Rent-A-Pal 2020, you had my heart then, you have my heart now. Unless 2025 Piglet will throw you off, but I feel as though that may not be the case. So what's your number one?
Well, first I want to say with Rent-A-Pal, this is one I wanted to rewatch too, just because I was like, I know it's going to be like number 3 for me, but I still want to rewatch it because I know Erica hasn't seen it, and it's nowhere to be found now. I got to rent it, like actually like buy it or rent it, and I just didn't have the money at the time, but I plan on revisiting it because it is such a good fucking movie. But my number one has not been mentioned at all, so I was wondering if it would hit your list or not, so apparently not. This one came from 2022 and was my number one from that year.
Okay.
It just pushed out Psycho Gorman, just barely, but it's because of the rewatchability for this film. This has become a Halloween tradition for me now, like during the month of October. And that is influencer getting his comeuppance when he decides to go film himself at a haunted house. I am talking fucking Deadstream from Shudder.
What? Yeah, that's cool.
This one, it has that freaking Evil Dead sense of humor. It is slapsticky. He does the freaking the annoying influencer so fucking well. He is the director along with his wife, if I remember correctly. He wrote this as well. The fact that you can rewatch this movie and just pay attention to the live stream chat and get a whole different aspect in how they nailed what is used in streaming chat as dialogue. Like the way these people talk is like, oh yeah, you nailed the internet. Like this is how people fucking chat. It's like, holy crap. Like the whole I forget the ghost girl's name, but like they're like, oh, she died. I'd still do her. Is one of the people in the chat said. I'm like, yep, that would. Like other
that
things
is
like that.
Exactly what would be said.
Yeah. But yeah, just like the fact that he's one of those douchebag influencers that just gets his comeuppance and just basically gets Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead 2. Just beat the hell, fucking tormented and tortured. It is such a fun fucking movie and endlessly rewatchable for me. I have watched this.
I couldn't agree more.
At least 7 times now.
Well, there we go. Like you brought
in
a heavy hitter from Shudder as your ending. I brought in a random
VOD. I think it may have even been on Hulu for a while.
Right. And I think we had what, like 2 or 3 crossovers, maybe 3, 4,
I think we had about 5 or 6 total,
5 or 6. Okay, that's not
which is
bad
not.
for 30.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
I thought we were gonna have more, but I knew our top tens would be a bit different, just
Yeah.
because like what hits us differently. But yeah, that you brought some that I just didn't even think of, or ones that I just couldn't put on the list for one reason or another, and I'm
Yeah.
so glad that they were brought up.
Yeah, and I found that definitely 2020 and 2021 were my years that I definitely, and maybe it's because we watched more then. I don't know if we just watched more or, we were seeing the stuff because that wasn't filmed during COVID, right? That was
Right.
probably pre-COVID or whatever, and then we're getting the aftermath now. But yeah, we'll see, because I've noticed so far for 2025 this has been the slowest. And I've seen one movie, I saw Hard Eyes, that I thought really stood out, and we'll go over this in our next episode. But yeah, there hasn't been the hitters so far this year. Like, I haven't seen anything that I'm like, yeah, for sure I'll be talking about that at the end of the year. Like, sometimes
Yeah.
you watch something and you're like, yeah,
Well,
this will come up somewhere, right?
Psycho Gorman for me when that came out in January, I
Right.
was like, this is gonna be my top 10.
Yeah, you knew, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see how this year goes, but I'm glad that we got to revisit
Yeah.
and talk about, as premium podcasters like ourselves do, bring up the true gems for people
100%.
to see, right? So hopefully everyone enjoyed that. Sorry, go ahead.
I did want to bring up too, though, that I did count out the years
Oh,
of my
okay.
list. So, yep, 2020, I had 7 on my list.
Very nice.
And then there is a 3-way tie. 2021, 2023, and 2024 all had 6 on my list.
Wow, you were pretty fair, huh?
Yeah, and then 2022 only had 5. So yeah, I was kind of shocked to see that. Like, oh wow, I thought it would be more of the older years.
That's a good question. So 2020, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So definitely 2020 was my highest, and I can just tell by the numbers that 2021 was my second, and then 2022 and 2023 and 2024 were all kind of hit and misses. I do notice that, I'll be honest, I have a higher nostalgia for what I watched in 2020 and 2021 than I did for what I've watched definitely last year. Like, from last year, we're looking at Late Night with the Devil, The Substance, and Nosferatu.
Right.
Are the only 3 that I felt made it to Humane as well. But yeah, it's interesting. And 2022, Speak No Evil, Barbarian, and Fresh were the ones that I really enjoyed, and Don't Worry Darling. So 4. So it's interesting how, it has kind of gone down. But I wouldn't say that means that the movies that have come out have been bad. It's just certain
comparative.
things.
Something might hit you more than others.
Yeah, I do notice here where I have Censor, Sound of Violence, and Night House. They're all from 2021. And The Gin from 2021 as well. Same with Slacks. And I felt like those were all very unique and different.
Yeah.
And I think that horror goes through waves, right? Like anything, fashion, everything else, it goes through waves. So it will be interesting to see what comes out this year. I'm really excited to see The Monkey has been dropped. I want to go see that in theaters. I know you saw that. We'll save that, I guess, for another time, but I know you enjoyed it enough, so that's a good sign.
Yep, it was. I will definitely say it's fun and worth watching. Just it's interesting. I will say that much.
I plan on watching Companion tonight. I've seen it on Plex.
I want to try to watch that one tonight as well, actually, because like I
Right.
said, now that we're getting this recorded and out of the way, Scotty's gonna start jumping into the 2025s a little more.
And I may skip over some of the ones I've watched that I don't think are worth talking about when we record next time.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that I know no one's going to watch, like ones that I dug to see that I know no one's going to, I'm not going to recommend it. What's the point? But we do have time and stuff is being dropped. So hopefully, what was the kangaroo one that we both really liked last year? What was it called? Rippy.
Yeah.
Maybe Rippy 2 will come out this year and we can see some Rippy 2.
And it'll be Tim. Tim will be Rippy in this one.
Yes. Oh, Popeye Returns is Revenge. Sorry, Popeye Revenge. I'm here for it. I'm going to tell you right now that movie's going to be watched and I will definitely be talking about it.
Oh boy, yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck
yeah. There's 3 Popeye movies coming out this year, I believe.
Fuck yeah.
Popeye the Slasher Man, Popeye Revenge, Popeye something else.
And I watched the Peter Pan one. I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah.
I'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a better version of that one.
Yeah, you know what? I'm all about the dirty cam versions, you know?
I know you are.
Put
You
all those
so
stuntmen out of business.
you so dirty.
I know I am. It's just scandalous, you know? I just really live life on the badass. Did you just take your shoe off?
Yeah, my foot was itching.
Oh, that's fair. You're like, shoe off for this conversation, Heather. You start squatting me.
Oh.
Right. I love it. Well, we'll be back again. Scott and I will with how our schedules are, realistically, once we stop recording before he hangs up, I'm gonna ask him to commit to a date. So we have it in our calendars. So like we actually have something to do, because this is also one of the few times we talk and hang out. We talk every day because we're besties for life. Don't worry, everybody. We're still brother and sister, and we're still besties. Better besties than Tim and Daniel. But well,
Snap.
it's true. Let's be real, right? But Tim's like, oh, I fucking hate you, Heather. I'm like, I know, Tim. I know. But you don't, though. But you don't hate me, because
I mean, that's what happens when you're comparing beef Wellington to a tomahawk steak.
Right. Yeah, it's true. But they at least live in the same country. Our countries are at tariff wars. So soon it's going to cost me 25% tariff and Scott 25% tariff for us to send text messages to each other. So
right.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah. So we'll pick a date and we'll get back to our 2025s. And by then, hopefully we have something to recommend. I know we have a couple, but hopefully
I definitely have one that's already at my number one, but I will save that for the show.
Oh, good. That's exciting.
I think I told you about it, but yeah, I'll make sure to mention it after we record.
Nice. I'm pumped for this. On another side note, I've been watching autobiographies, and usually I save them for the plane because I'm very well traveled, as Rob knows. He likes when I talk about my trips. But I watched the Elvis film, the Elvis biography. And of course it's sensationalized. And Tom Hanks plays the colonel who is his manager. And let me tell you, if a fraction of that is true, that colonel was a piece of shit and real took advantage of Elvis and really worked him like a dog. It's a long one, but if you and Erica are looking for something a little different to watch, it's interesting.
All right.
So yeah, I save it for the plane, because if not, I just watch horror movies. And like I come across as really boring, because when I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, what do you like to watch?" I'm like, "Horror films." They're like, "Anything else?" I'm like, Not really. That's it.
Give me all the horror.
They're like, "You watch Squid Games?" I'm like, "No, I watch indie films." Like, what kind of films? I'm like, The Special from 2020. Have you heard of it? It's a very unique. It's about a box. They get sexual pleasure, and they're like, I'm like, and then I like, smile and I bite my lips, but not with like the bottom lip, so it looks like I look really seductive then. Anyway,
but yeah,
we will be back.
I'll bring up one too real quick that was non-horror.
Oh, okay.
I did tell you about it. But it was that animated movie called Flow.
Oh yes, yeah.
Animation in that is like watching a fucking water painting come to life. It is beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
And yeah, it's just no dialogue. It's kitty, it's a capybara, it's a lemur, it's a golden retriever puppy that's so cute. And the animal mannerisms are so freaking spot on, and it's just so cute and fun and hilarious, and like also kind of like, it gets you in the feels, but not in a bad way. It's just like, oh, this is so good.
It touches you in the right spot, is what you're saying.
Like this will say something. It's one I want to buy on 4K. I don't buy non-horror films. I want to buy this and own this.
That's pretty impressive. Look at it. She's like,
Flo? Yeah. Oh, she loves Flo.
She's like, thank God, not another fucking horror movie. Jesus Christ.
Oh no, she's all about it, but no,
she's like, I told this guy I liked horror movies, which is true, but I didn't realize he was a premium podcaster and what that was going to involve. So we will be back, but as always, we want to thank you for listening. We want to thank our fellow podcasters at the Horror Returns, Dummies of Horror, Slasher Radio, the Exploding Movie Heads podcast, Fresh Cuts, and a shout out to the Rotten Round Table. I know they're taking a step back right now
for the horror cast.
From the horror cast. I guess they don't do the Rotten Round Table anymore.
Well, Rotten Round Table is part of horror cast. That was just their special episodes.
Yeah, right. So I hope that. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll say, I completely understand and respect their decision if they decide to be done.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like Scott and I have dropped down to recording once a month, which I feel despite the rumors that we're going to retire, I don't think we will now, because I think once a month works for Scotty and I.
Yeah.
And we pick a date and we stick to it, and it's a good time for us to hang out, and I think it works well. So I can see once a month being the thing that we do moving forward. And that's great. But it's hard. And they were very regular.
And 4 people trying to get 4 schedules to line up is very difficult.
And I don't know if you remember, there was one time where Mark Nato was curious if we would be interested in joining them on their regular show. And both you and I had struggles with committing to the time. And that was back when there was nothing going on. It was just COVID. So, I give credit for that. It's not easy. It's Scott and I have been lucky. There's been the two of us, and we've been able to kind of like ebb and flow. Like for a hot minute, we had a video game podcast. If you want to go back and listen to that, the episodes are still there.
It's short-lived, but it was there.
Controllers up, cards down.
Oh yeah,
you know what?
No.
Before we ever stop, we should do one last. We should do Friday Nightmares and then do a special, like, while we're recording, go back to our controllers up, cards down segment and just do something quick.
Luffy would be so happy.
Right? But yeah, and we used to do top 5. So there's lots of stuff in our library. Please go back and listen. But you will notice that our style has changed over the years. Our themes were one way, and now we kind of just focus more on new watches, and that works for us. And I think we won't be going anywhere, Tim. So
I know him calling us out like that, you motherfucker.
He's so hot though. You know what? He can get away with it. They're also sexy.
He's my sexy boy from down under.
Yeah, he's definitely a sexy boy. He's just not a boy toy. He's a sexy boy.
He's my boy toy.
Forever boy toy, right? But yes, we are proud members of the Legion Podcast Network. 5 years going strong. Thank you so much, Legion, for continuing to back us and support us and let us, our little podcasty, be part of your network. Both Scott and I are Patreons. We have continued to support them over the last several years because they do so much for podcasters like ourselves. If you would be so obliged, Scott has one question for you when it comes to supporting indie podcasts.
What the fuck are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And in a William Shatner style, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Join us.
So Scott's cat's tail is right into the camera right now. So Scott's talking, and all I can see is his big ass fucking tail in front of his face. He's like, join us, and the tail's like, looks like it's gonna go up his nose because it's so fucking fluffy.
That is 5 years going and nothing has changed. The same cats keep interrupting.
They sure do. Only now Scott has 2 teenage boys, a wifey, 2 dogs. How many cats?
3 cats and the leopard gecko.
Oh yeah, the gecko. I forgot about the gecko.
Can never forget about my mini dragon.
Never forget about Blaze, right? Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. So we'll see what 2025 brings, Scotty.
Yeah.
I feel like we may have to do a new category of like unlicensed, or what is it, off licensed or license expired films and
public domain films.
Yes.
Or public domain characters.
And give an award this year because they be coming.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, and I think we should get rid of like Out of the Dark and put that in its place, because I think that would be fun to do, because we'll watch them. We both know we're gonna watch them.
Oh, absolutely.
So, okay.
Might not make it through all of them, but I'll watch everyone.
No, but we'll watch them, right? Anyway, we look forward to seeing you all soon. Look for a next episode to come out probably sometime in March. And whenever Scott gets around to editing this, will probably be a week or two. And then we'll record sometime in March, and we'll come out with a 2025s.
Yes, and thank you very much for sticking with us for these 5 years of podcasting. And this was fun, kind of having that nostalgia trip, going back and revisiting what we started with when we first started this show, and like what we watched.
Yeah.
And it's been a journey, and lots has changed, but it's all been good. And once again, thank you all for supporting us and sticking with us, and the ones that have been here from the beginning. We love you. We love all of you. And until next time, kiddies, unpleasant dreams.
See ya.